To all Detective Conan lovers, welcome back to the world of mystery, deduction, and clever twists. Whether you've been following Conan Edogawa since the very first episode or you're just diving into the maze of the Black Organization and beyond, you know that every case holds secrets waiting to be unraveled. Now, let me take you into the suspenseful events of Episode 1159, The Whereabouts of the Goodbye.
Episode 1159 of Detective Conan, titled The Whereabouts of the Goodbye, Japanese Sayonara no Shingfang, presents a haunting, emotionally charged standalone mystery that revolves around themes of love, betrayal, and hidden truth. The episode begins with the tragic discovery of a young woman, Aki Kano, found dead in her apartment from cyanide poisoning. Aki, 26 years old, was a researcher at Sotoba Chemicals. Her boyfriend, Yusuke Sakon, along with the building's apartment manager, discovers her lifeless body after she fails to respond to messages and calls. The initial impression is suicide. There's no sign of forced entry, and cyanide is a common method in suicides related to the chemistry field. The police lean toward closing the case as a suicide, but a peculiar detail draws the attention of Kogoro Mori and Conan Edogawa. A copy of an investigation report from Kogoro's detective agency is found in the apartment. This report becomes a major clue and hints that the case may not be as straightforward as it seems. Upon questioning, Kogoro recalls that Aki had approached him just days earlier to investigate her boyfriend, Yusuke, whom she suspected of cheating. She feared that he was hiding something and wanted to know the truth. Her emotional state during the request left an impression on Kogoro. Digging deeper, Conan begins to suspect foul play. He questions the timeline of events and the behavior of Yusuke. Something doesn't add up. While Yusuke appears distraught, his reactions seem off. Conan notices inconsistencies, such as the placement of the body, the lack of a suicide note despite Aki's supposed emotional motivation, and especially the timing of when she was last seen alive. The forensic evidence confirms the presence of cyanide, but also points to the fact that the dosage was unusually high. Conan begins to piece together that Aki may not have ingested the poison willingly. He examines the contents of the apartment and retraces the victim's steps. Interviews with neighbors reveal that Aki had received a visitor before her death, likely Yusuke. Despite his alibi of being at work during the estimated time of death, Conan suspects he created a false timeline. Using voice mimicry and tranquilizing Kogoro as always, Conan publicly reenacts the case's timeline and reveals the truth. Yusuke Sakon killed Aki. Once Aki hired Kogoro, Yusuke realized she was suspicious of him and feared exposure. In a panic, he confronted her, but the situation escalated. He forced her to ingest cyanide under emotional duress or possibly drugged her. Then, to make it appear like suicide, he removed evidence and left the apartment. He later discovered the body with the manager to complete his false narrative. The motive, heartbreakingly, stems from a combination of selfishness and fear. Yusuke had indeed been unfaithful, and rather than be exposed, he chose to silence Aki. He manipulated the scene to look like she took her own life out of despair. This revelation deeply impacts the characters, especially Kogoro, who remembers Aki's sad but hopeful eyes when she asked him to help her. He reflects on the tragedy of how someone seeking truth and emotional closure was instead betrayed in the most permanent way. The episode ends with a somber mood. Justice is served, but the emotional weight of the case lingers. Aki's quiet goodbye is felt deeply by both Kogoro and Conan, who often face the darker side of human emotions in their investigations. However, many fans noted that the ending felt emotionally unbalanced, as the typical upbeat theme song plays immediately after the resolution, some feeling it undercut the seriousness of the episode's emotional depth. The Whereabouts of the Goodbye is a strong example of a filler episode, not based directly on the manga, that delivers a moving, character-focused mystery. It reminds viewers that not every case involves international crime syndicates or high-stakes action. Sometimes, the most painful betrayals happen quietly, behind closed doors, and for the most personal reasons. Through precise storytelling, emotional complexity, and Conan's relentless pursuit of truth, the episode offers a powerful narrative that resonates long after the credits roll. It also explores the limits of trust and the tragic consequences when love turns to fear and deceit.
Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel. Conan Edogawa is a brilliant teen detective who was turned into a child by a mysterious organization. He continues to solve crimes using his sharp intellect while hiding his true identity as Shinichi Kudo. Kogoro Mori is a private detective famously known as the Sleeping Detective, as cases are solved in his presence while the credit goes to him, though it's actually Conan doing the work. Juzo Megure is a strict and experienced police inspector who leads major investigations and often relies on Conan and Kogoro Mori. Ran Mori is a strong and caring girl, the daughter of Kogoro Mori, and is close friends with Shinichi, Conan, helping him solve cases without knowing his true identity. Wataru Takagi is a loyal and kind-hearted police officer who works alongside Megure in investigations and has a special relationship with his colleague, Sayaka. Ai Haibara is a smart and mysterious girl, a former scientist for the Black Organization, who, like Conan, was shrunk and now helps him fight against the organization. Kazunobu Chiba is a kind and calm police officer, known for his dedication to work and his heartfelt memories with his former classmate Neko.